good news is that people all over the world are winning some really impressive victories against multinational corporations. In the town where I come from, Cochabamba, Bolivia, in 2000, some of the most humble people in the world kicked out one of the biggest, most powerful corporations in the world, Bechtel, when the World Bank ushered them in to take over the country's or the city's public water system. In El Salvador, communities, again, very humble communities, have been able to force their government to put a stop to gold mining because it would contaminate their rivers. These are really impressive and inspiring victories, but multinational corporations aren't stupid. They have very carefully, over a period of more than a decade, constructed a new system designed to make them really even more powerful than governments. And that system is a global web of international trade agreements and tribunals like one at the World Bank that enforce those agreements. Here's how that works. You have a country like El Salvador, Bolivia, signs an international trade agreement with a country like the United States or Holland or England. In that trade agreement, they put in a provision that says, well, what happens if one of these companies making an investment in water or food or whatever gets mad and doesn't like some action that the country is taking? What do? Well, corporations say, we don't want to just go to the local courts. We want to have a special judicial system just for us. And so these treaties say, okay, in the event of a dispute between the government and one of these international corporations, we will fight it out in, for example, the International Center for the Settlement of Investment Disputes, also known as ICSID. So how does that system work? Behind closed doors, a tribunal of 3 members, one appointed by the company, one appointed by the government, and a third either by agreement between the two, or if they can't agree, the World Bank itself appoints the third member of the tribunal. So behind closed doors, in a place where neither you or I or any regular people can participate or hear or even know who testifies or what they say, they can make a decision and say to the government of El Salvador, okay, you shouldn't have said no to gold mining. You should have allowed the contamination in the water. $70 million, pay it out. Or to the Bechtel Corporation, pay $50 million. And then you look like a country like Argentina, they've had hundreds of millions of dollars of judgments against them. This has 2 impacts. One impact is that it takes money out of the public treasury. I mean, this is money that could be used to hire school teachers or doctors in rural communities. I mean, the Bechtel case, the demand for $50 million by Bechtel was equal to what it would have cost to put 1,200 rural teachers in the field for a year in the country. That's what's at stake. But even more importantly, what it does is it is designed to intimidate and freeze government from taking actions that protect their citizens. Philip Morris, the tobacco giant, is suing the government of Uruguay for tens of millions of dollars for the sin of putting warnings on tobacco boxes, cigarette containers. And what's the purpose? It's basically to say to the government of Uruguay, back down. Don't implement those kinds of rules. So we really need to understand that corporations are like the robots of our age. They're really not even humans. They're machines in which the people come and go, and they are looking for ways to dominate us. And here, at a moment in which we're seeing all these really inspiring local victories, we need to understand that the corporations are setting up this system of global rules that is designed to undermine those victories and to make them really more powerful than governments.